Hey guys, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is kind of a first impressions review type video that is also a get ready with me on this look that I have right now, and it features some new products, or new to me. Some of them are a little newer though. First, the Tartelette 2 in Bloom palette, which I have had my eye on this palette since it came out, and I finally just bit the bullet and bought it, and I'm so glad I did. Just spoiler alert. The shades in it are just gorgeous, and they're all shades that I would use. I really like the purples down there, but then like the cool tones here, the warmer tones here, it's just a beautiful palette, even if I mostly bought it for the shade Firecracker. Then I also have this little sample of the Tarte Lip Paint situation in the color TBT. Stay tuned for how I feel about this. And then also the Urban Decay optical blurring brush, which, yes, so good. So if you want to see these 3 products in action along with my other makeup, then please I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face first, just using the Angel Veil primer from NYX. I'm kind of trying to get through some products that like I've had for a while, so that's going all right. But this is like my favorite primer, so I basically use this all the time. My skin is finally starting to calm down after being super irritated from hairspray and constant makeup. Then I'm just gonna let that sit like usual and use my Urban Decay eye primer just to prime my eyelids. This has been going for like longer than the date on the tube. And I'm just taking that. This is just my favorite primer for like prolonging the wear of makeup. I do like the MAC paint pot, but this one is just so much better for actually making it stay, even if it doesn't have any like coverage. And I'm gonna take the Tartelette palette, and I'm going to take the shade Charmer, which is just the lightest shade in the palette. This is like really hard to show you because the mirror, but yeah. Just taking that lightest shade in the palette. I haven't even swatched these, so this is like literally the first time that. Right off the bat, that's pretty great pigmentation for a really light shade like this. Alright, so that is all set in. Let me think what I want to do. See, I really want to use the shade Firecracker, but I kind of don't want to go that warm today. And there are some really cool, like I'm really liking the top row of shades. I'm going to take the shade Jetsedder, which is the next one right there. Maybe I'll just go down the row and see how that goes. And of course, using this as the crease shade. These are nice pigmented shades. Blend pretty well even with my crappy old brushes. Yeah, that's pretty good. I just wanted it blown out in the crease. I'm just gonna go straight down the row. So now I'm gonna take the shade Rocker on a flat brush, and I'm just gonna place that all over the lid. This is like darker than a shade I would normally put on my lids, but feeling it. This shade reminds me a little bit of, oh my god, it's in the Naked One palette. I can't think of it now. I think it's Toasted or something. I really like that. It's not too warm, not too cool. On a more precise brush, I'm going to take, okay, I think I'm going to use the shade Activist instead of Smoke Show, because that one is just straight up black and I'm scared of that. But this is like a black brown. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that in the outer portion. I'm just really trying to diffuse that. I really have been liking this Sonia Kashuk brush. I didn't really like it that much when I first got it, but the more that I use it, it just lets you get a precise application but also blend a bit. And once it's kind of blended like that, I like to bring it in a bit over the... So I'm going to go back in with that Jetsedder shade and blend, 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 so it's not so harsh right there. I went a little overboard. I'm going to take Rocker and blend this. I think I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Funny Girl, which is this light shimmery shade over here, on a different brush. And I'm going to lighten up the kind of inner portion of my eye. I'm going to wipe that brush off and just take that shade Charmer again to really highlight the brow bone. So that's it for the upper eyeshadow. I would say first impression of this, it's a good palette. I mean, it's a neutral palette. The packaging is nice. There's some like fun colors in it. I could definitely see myself using every single shade in this palette, so that is a good thing. Because I used to think it was cool, like, oh, these pops of color, but like I'm never gonna use those in a lot of palettes, so this is kind of nice to have, where it's just literally just all shades that I will use. Now I'm gonna do foundation. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Lumi foundation. I have the shade Neutral 1-2, and it's a little orange for me, but I really want to try this one with this brush for some reason. So we're just gonna try it. So this brush is like dense, but also not so dense to the point where it is just piling foundation up. So I do like that. Oh, yep, it's nice. It really lets you buff into the skin. So I don't think this is gonna give you like the full coverage look, but I like to go for the more medium, so I really like this right now. I normally do not like the way that this foundation looks with a brush. I think it might just be that I didn't like how my brush applies it. I really like how this looks. I'm like really impressed with this. Oh, this isn't like a new product or anything, but I know this is a pretty good layering foundation, so I'm gonna try one more pump just to build up the coverage where I need it. Maybe don't stipple with this brush. It's really good blending. Oh my god, I really like this. I feel like that really built the coverage very nicely. This is great. This is a good brush. Wow. Wow. Now I'm trying to use up my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer because I've just had it for so long. So I'm gonna take about a pump of that. And I like to, like, with this one, pat it in a little with my fingers to like melt it. But for that, I'm gonna go in with my Beauty Blender because I just love it too much for concealer. And this concealer is so thick and high coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and set now. Really all I've been using to set is this RCMA No Color Powder. It's just so good and so cheap. Except for like watch literally in like 2 years when I have to buy a new one, it's still gonna be sold out all the time. Isn't usually what I use to set my whole face, but I just don't want to get up and get my other brush, so here we are. I do have to set my entire face with this foundation because it's the luminous finish kind of foundation. Now I'm going to add some stuff to my lower lash line. I'm going to take that dark shade Activist and put that along the lower lash line. Then the shade Funny Girl, that light one. I'm just not an eyeliner person, so I'm gonna go off camera and do my brows and my eyeliner, or no, what the? I'm gonna do my brows and my mascara and be right back. I just used L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Mascara and my NYX brow pencil, which is still not the right color, but I'm gonna use it up. I'm gonna take NYX Taupe blush and use that as my contour shade. I mean, it can look kind of ashy, but if you use a very tiny amount, I just don't know how I lived life without contouring. Like, I don't even contour that much. I usually like a little bit, but still. And now that I have that buffing brush, I can use this one actually for foundation. Now that I have a foundation brush, I can use this one for actually sculpting. I'm gonna use it for my blush as well. I'm using the Wet n Wild Rose Champagne blush. This is becoming like my favorite blush. It's just like the perfect natural flush with like a little bit of a sheen without it looking like, hey. And speaking of too shimmery, I'm gonna highlight using Becca Opal because I have like 2 highlights and this is one of them. I'm just gonna use that same brush that I used for my setting powder. Just washed all my brushes yesterday, so I'm like, yay, clean. And then for lips, another first impression, well, kind of. I put this on last night. It's like a weird formula. It's good, but it's not my favorite. It kind of feels like the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams, but like I got it as a sample, so it's good. It's a Tarte Lippie Paint, and this one is in the color TBT. But luckily it's a color I can wear right now because it's really hard with this, this hair situation. The only thing I noticed yesterday when wearing it is that it like wore off around the outsides, or I mean the inside, and then the outside stayed dark, so it looked like a weird lip liner mishap. I do kind of like, though, it does look very matte even when it's a little bit slippery. So if you have dry lips or you don't like really dry feeling things on your lips, this might be a great option for you. All right, well, that is it for this look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoy these style like first impressions videos, let me know down below. I try to do like full reviews, but I thought this one would be fun to do like a first impressions type deal. I'm of course happy to update you guys on how I feel about the products after a while of using them. But for now, I hope that you enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!